What's going on, folks? Painless Risen here. I wanted to address some issues. Um, Russell Wilson and Ciara are now engaged. He proposed to her in Paris, France. Has put a ring on it, if you will. And I just want to talk about it. This may be a lengthy video. I'm not sure. Only you will know, obviously. Um, and that's that. Russell Wilson in validation of blackness. And let me, many of you all know that I said that simps are very dangerous individuals. In my interpretation of the definition of what simp is, according to Painless, some guys may have different variations, different, meanings of what a simp is. To me, a simp is a guy that deals with women on. He's not fully confident. He kowtows to women, even at the expense of his friends, his close friends, to seek good standing with certain women. That's what a simp is to me. He will do any and everything to be in good standing with any said particular female, even at the expense of your relationship or your friendship with other friends. And I think that is very dangerous. I am totally against that. And sometimes being, talking about these types of issues kind of dwells or can linger or kind of, move into the realms of anti-woman. And no, I'm not anti-woman. Women have their roles and responsibilities and functions. But you should never, I don't support nor condone doing anything to get in between a woman's, to get in good standing with women. I've never condoned that. I am a staunch supporter of being honest. And if you're creeping, and I know married men will creep or sleep around, and that's what it is. But I would tell a woman, look, I'm married. And this is no strings attached. You know what I want. I know what you want. And I'm not saying I've never stepped out on my wife in my 12 years of marriage. But I'm merely speaking as an outsider, that you need to be totally honest, because, when things arise, no one can say, well, you didn't tell me you were married, And I know that may not be sufficient enough, but at least the woman will subconsciously know, look, I'm dealing with a married man. I always tell brothers that, when I mean by brothers, I mean men, not particularly black brothers, but men. I tell brothers, if you're going to step out, which I don't condone, I don't support cheating or anything of that nature. I would just say, if you're going to step out, you want to cheat, then get divorced. It'll save you a lot of heartache. But for the brothers that like to dip out and stay married, you need to be upfront with the woman or women, plural, that you're dealing with. Look, just say, I'm married. I'm not going to be at your apartment every night. You're not going to get a phone call every night from me. I have a family. Okay? Cut the light on a little bit. Some little light in there. You're not going to get that text every night from me. I have a family. Be upfront with these women that you're creeping with. Like I said a moment ago, this is going to be sexual. You know what I want. I know what you want. Don't catch feelings. And that's that. And if a woman's out there and she's in that particular lifestyle, she'll understand. Any whim of deviance in terms of, well, this woman might catch feelings, you need to abort. You need to get rid of that woman, excuse me. because this is the same type of female that will be running up to your job, that will be stealing your phone and calling your wife, harassing your family, and you don't want to deal with that. All sex ain't good sex. Just like all money ain't good money. Now getting back on Mr. Russell Wilson, Mr. Russell Wilson had the pick of the litter. He could have had any female, but he chose to get with a woman who just had a child by a gangster rapper. In future, he is, I don't know how deep he is in the streets, but he would be typified as a gangster, stunting ass rapper. Look at my chains, look at my whips, look how much money I got in my mouth. And, Russell Wilson, those types of black guys to me, those type of total line, I've seen guys like Russell Wilson before. These are the guys that are good with management. And while painless, I'm good with management, but I'm real. I call it for what it is. I'm a realist. And I know that may sound cliche, and, okay, you're a realist. Okay, what does that mean, painless? I'm a realist. But Russell Wilson strikes me as the guy, he's a company man. He's a company guy, doesn't ruffle any feathers. He doesn't, yes, he moves out. He's, yes, sir, okay, we'll do this. And that's what he strikes me as, okay. And those types of guys, he's good. Like I said, he's personified as a leader. He doesn't fit that stereotypical black male athlete that I talk about all too often. That is totally true. But see, the thing is, Russell Wilson types are just as dangerous. These are the guys that, check all the boxes, cross all the T's, dot all the I's. A company man. He's a company Negro. He's he's the guy that you want. He's athletic. He's a quarterback. He doesn't, he's opposite of Cam Newton. When things get in a bind, he's not sitting there looking crazy with the long face, looking ugly like Cam Newton does. You kind of want to, I can see how people gravitate, towards him. He's a different Negro. But if you look at those types of guys, and okay, he's a leader on the football field. He doesn't get ruffled. He's not over there slamming his helmet like T.O. used to do, and all in your face and mad. Why didn't you give me the ball? Or why didn't you make... perfect example is the Super Bowl 49. When he made that pass, and we can debate, I'm not here, that's not the focal point of this video, whether he made that pass, did it come from Pete Carroll, who made that decision, it's besides the point. But, he didn't look frazzled. I can tell you what, if Cam Newton made that, you would see Cam Newton sitting there. Cam Newton sits with a long-ass face when he's forward out in the first quarter. Here, Russell Wilson threw away the Super Bowl. Now that's up for debate, whether Pete Carroll or, certain skill-leveled coaches called that play, whatever. He didn't look frazzled at all. Russell Wilson has a poker face. Cam Newton and most black athletes don't have poker faces. You can see them Negroes, you can see them from 10 miles away and how they feel. Russell Wilson has an A-game poker face. Now, with that said, these types of guys, they, his personal life is something that kind of it causes me to do videos like this. I'll just say that. I mean, when you have a guy who sleeps with a baby mama, wife's a baby mama, when he has the pick of the litter, as I said a couple minutes ago, excuse me, he has any woman at his choosing, at his liking, but decides to get with this woman who's, and I've said this about single mothers. Single mother, the one thing you can look at and you can pull out in terms of characteristics or attributes with single mothers, they make bad decisions. And Ciara made a bad decision sleeping with a known gangster, thugged out rapper and having a child by him in that of Future. And then the abstinence thing. I don't know whose call that was. But to me about that, let me say this. If I was Russell Wilson. So you're going to make me wait to get in between. But you let this guy who raps about the denigration of women, promoting the killing of other black men, you let him skeet all inside you. And now you have his child, and yeah, he's pushing him around, but you make me wait. To me, when I heard that, I knew that was simp status in that of Russell Wilson. And see, this is the thing with a lot of women, especially a lot of single black mothers in church. They do all their deviant, shady behavior, and then they'll move somewhere. And I've seen this because I travel to the West Coast often. I see a lot of women, especially from Los Angeles, the Bay Area. And, I go to Vegas sometimes. And if you've been to Vegas, there are a lot of people from LA there. And what these women do, they move there and they try to reinvent themselves. Atlanta is a hotbed. I shouldn't even mention Las Vegas or Los Angeles. I should have said Atlanta. Atlanta is a breeding ground for deviant, transient, less than whorish women that move from Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, that move to Atlanta and try to reinvent themselves and, try to, pass off to unsuspecting simpish guys like Russell Wilson that they had no whorish past. And that's exactly what happened to Russell Wilson. You're going to make me wait to get in between. And then it's still not up in the air if they've slept together. But here, Russell Wilson went out and bought this female a nice size ring. And it leaves me, have you even tasted the goods yet, brother? Have you gotten in between yet? Pushing this child around? Have you gotten inside yet, man? To me, I think you need to sample the good. Because if you're going to stand up in front of people and say, to death do us part, I'm not going to do this, you need to sample the goods. And again, I'm a realist. How are you going to commit yourself to something and you haven't even sampled the female? And as I said, if there's been no talk about him sleeping with Ciara, but yet you put this big rock on her finger, have you sampled, brother? You're ready to make a commitment, but have you sampled? And Russell Wilson, he was married to a white woman. He met her in high school. They did the college thing and they divorced. Word that she slept with what's the brother from who got traded, um, Tate, who got traded to the Detroit Lions from the Seattle Seahawks. And, there was talk of him creeping with his wife, and Russell Wilson didn't downplay it or anything. He didn't try to squash the rumors. I don't know. I'm going to tell you what happened to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got around all those niggas on the Seattle Seahawks and got turned out. And what I mean by turned out is they niggerized him in some way, shape, or form. And let me say this about black guys dealing with certain white women. And I don't like white women. And I can tell them from my mouth. White women that deal exclusively with black guys, that have an affinity with black guys, they just have this look. They have this hairstyle, they have this look. And those types of white women, I would encourage I would encourage you, strongly encourage, to stay clear of those white women, because in many cases, those white women they're just like the black women that you claim to run from. They're just pale. I'm just going to be honest. But Russell Wilson's choosing over the white woman, she didn't strike me as that. But I'm just saying, you need to be selective of the type of non-black women you deal with. I don't like white women that act black. I mean, I'm married to a non-black woman. My wife is not white. My wife is not Asian. She's not Hispanic. She's Pacific Islander. But my wife doesn't act black. My wife doesn't talk black. My wife she's not that. I mean, my wife listens to, R&B, black music. She reads, but my wife, she's mature. You have a lot of non-black women that do the most to appeal to black men, i.e. acting black, talking black, wearing weave, doing things, that, and the third, to appease to the man that they're trying to get. And these are the same non-black women that will throw shade at black women. My wife, my wife doesn't have a disdain or a hidden anger for black women. We just live. We were two people that were attracted to each other. We had the same likes, same hobbies, and that's how we came together. I didn't say, I'm just going to go out and find me another black woman. No. But you got brothers that are doing that, and they end up with women who hate their own mothers. You have a lot of black men that are in interracial relationships that hate black women, but they deal with your ass because they have an affinity for black penis. That's just real. That's just real. And to me, brothers like that are cornballish and weak and soft, and I don't deal with that. When I talk about black women and their degenerate behavior, it's because it's legitimate. I'm not a round-the-way guy in terms when I talk about black females and how they get down. It's genuine. I see a lot of disingenuous. And some of y'all may be saying, who are you painless to say who's real and who isn't? Well, this is my opinion. But I see a lot of disingenuous black brothers talking when they do so-called black women bashing videos. You can tell they just been listening to certain individuals of high-profile character, and they have no original talking points of their own. Makes them disingenuous. Okay? But, Russell Wilson, he is a simp of the highest degree. Why would you, quarterback, you're up there in Seattle. You can have any woman of your picking. why are you going to bring the headache of dealing with a future type in that the rapper Future, who rolls in certain packs, known for causing, dealing in mischievous behavior and things like that? You're willing to take that on for a female that we still don't know if you've gotten in between. Still, it doesn't make, even if you got in between, you still shouldn't deal with that type of woman. And let me tell you something about guys that, you guys, and this is why I'm against dealing with single mothers, because there are a lot of men in the ground or in prison dealing with women that they shouldn't have, that had kids by crazy ass baby daddies who probably shot them down and are in the dirt, or they had to shoot that shine because he was coming at them. And I tell you, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. A female that has a crazy baby daddy or ex-boy, it's not worth it. There are too many women out here. And I know of 2 black men that are in the ground. And I know I said in the ground or in prison. These particular brothers are in the ground for at least 8 years now because of women that had children, and they consistently pursued these women while they could have had women with no kids, no crazy ass baby daddies, nothing like that. You need to be you need to be smart when dealing with these women. Leave single mothers alone. I am a staunch supporter of not even dealing with baby mamas, single mothers. And if you remember what I said, the one thing you can take about single mothers is they make bad decisions. Ciara made a bad decision. She knew how Future got down, yet she let him impregnate her. Now she wants a guy, a simp, like Russell Wilson. And see, this is the thing. There's an abundance of simps. Simps are like, I swear there's a factory somewhere that constantly makes simps. It's like an assembly line of simps being produced and let out on the planet to kowtow, I'll bring you roses, baby, every day to your work. I'll put my jacket over a puddle, some old LL Cool J shit. There's an abundance of simps out here. And guys like me are few and far in between, meaning that, we're rare. And, my talking is not anti-female. If anything, men deserve the right to protect themselves. Because you have predatory litigation, i.e. child support system, family court. And many of you have heard me talk about child support, in which judges are forced under the law to cater into whore. They have to side with whores. Some of y'all know my material. I'm not going to go into that. Check out some videos where I talk about women. I'm very descriptive and detailed in the titles, so you'll know what I'm talking about of my videos. So, I mean, here, see, these women think they can do all this type of felonious, scandalous, whorish behavior and then come back and find a guy like Russell Wilson. But then again, like I said, if there's abundance of simps like Russell Wilson, they'll always have that safety net. I'm trying to cut that safety net. If I could save a one guy from being a Russell Wilson, I'm going to do it. I mean, he had any type of woman, and he deals with her. And then you think about this type of guy, how did he even approach? He doesn't even look like the type of guy that would approach females, which I say he's been niggerized by members on his team. I mean, it's so obvious. And this is why I talk about the Bella. Maybe I believe he had I think he had a coming to moment where he had to validate his blackness. I mean, brother, you could have chose another suitable black female than to get with a single mother of a gangster rapper. And it shows you these gangster rappers that talk all this stuff. And, there's a rapper by the name of Nipsey Hussle out of Los Angeles. And the female, he just got a female pregnant, or he had a baby by Laura London. Now, Laura London has a child by Lil Wayne. I think she has one or two other children by men. But yet he knocked her up. Now, this is why rappers are full of shit. This guy, Nipsey Hussle, talks about pimping women and not being caught up by women, yet he gets a female who been knocked up by other rappers pregnant. A known whore. Laura London from ATL, forget her name on ATL, Nunu. She's a whore. But these rappers knock her up. Now, these rappers talk about being real niggas and not getting connived by a woman, but yet they do it. This is why you don't need to listen to rappers. You need to listen to guys like me. If I were single, like I said, I've been married over 12 years, never ever stepped out on my wife, never cheated. If I was single, if my wife passed away today, or my wife wanted to divorce me today, Painless, I'm divorcing your ass. I'm through fooling with you. I'm through messing with you. We done. The first thing Painless would do, I would go out and get me a vasectomy. I'm not caught up into this legacy, passing on the Painless name and all of that stupid shit. It is, I'm not. I'm at an age where I don't want any children. Well, Painless, why can't you just wrap it up? I intend to. But I want to dot my I's and cross my T's. And I don't want a woman to think that she's going to get me at 40. I'm 37 years old now. I don't want a woman that thinks she can get me at the age of 37 for 18 years of child support payments and laugh her way to the bank. Because a lot of women are unworthy, they're not worthy, they're uncouth, they're not nurturers of life. And if if I got married again and a woman wanted children, sorry. No Brady Bunch here. And that's how it is. Look, I am a supporter of men protecting themselves from the predatory system of child support, family court, litigation, and shit like that. And men, you need to be realist. Don't be emotional with women. Because they're already emotional. You need to be you need to be of reason and logic and thinking. Clear-headed thinking. There are a lot of men in their 40s and 50s dealing with fucking child support payments. Can you believe that shit? And we know, and I'm just going to be real, men, we appreciate as we get older. The idea is, as you get older, you begin to make a little bit more money. You know, you begin to attain a little bit more of assets. Women, since women love to capitalize off tits and ass, well, that shit sags after a while. So as women get older, if they don't have a lot of money or assets, they don't have shit to stand on. You don't see young guys marrying old, broke-ass females. You'll see a young guy marry an old female that's got a little clout. I mean, let's just be real. Men appreciate, because we're the leaders, we're the money makers. So if you're 40 years old, if you're 45, 47 years old, and you don't have shit to your name, no assets, you're out here slinging dick like it ain't no thing, and now you're paying $583 a month for a child to some 28-year-old you met, that's your fault. And by the way, that's a true story. Numbers and everything. Ages, child support payments, and everything. That's your fault. But, you know, guys like Russell Wilson, they're simps. I mean, I wish the best to him, but it's not a very wise decision. You think of the potential headache he's got to deal with a future type. Who wants to deal with that? I mean, this brother could have been chilling with any type of female. I mean, this brother got the whole black Ted Koppel looking look, hair. This dude looks like a young black Ted Koppel. I mean, the little hair and shit. I mean, why did you go get with her? All the women you could have dealt with, brother. But he was niggerized. He had to validate his blackness. Peace.